So hello everybody, we're about to study the sum of cubes, okay? This is a special formula for factoring what we call the sum of cubes, okay? And it's something that looks like this. X cubed plus y cubed, and if it looks like this, you have a special factoring formula that most people memorize, and it makes it easier to factor them kind of quick. So the formula goes like this. Okay, x plus y times x squared minus xy plus y squared. Okay? So really, all it says is whatever number you're cubing, just put that number. Whatever number you're going to cube to get this number in front, just put that number in the parentheses. Alright? And then with y, put that number in the parentheses too. Not raised to any power, but just by itself to the 1 power, right? Then go ahead and take that number x that you're cubing and square it. Okay, so whatever number, if that's 2 and you're cubing 2, then make sure that you got, what's 2 squared? That's 4. So you're going to write that here, right? The next term is saying subtract the product of these two numbers. So multiply whatever values there are with each other, and you're going to get this term. The last one is y squared. It's going to be whatever number you're cubing, just multiply it times itself and write the value here, okay? So the easiest way to get these is to find out what we're cubing. Write this expression in this form, and it's going to be a lot easier, right? So this is equal to 2a to the third power, right? Because 2 to the third is 8, and a to the third is a to the third. And now over here we have plus 3 to the third power. Okay, so we found out 3 to the third is 27. So now we have our sum of cubes. You see that? What's our first term that we're cubing? We're cubing 2a. And the next thing we're cubing is 3. Okay? So, like I said, the way it starts is write the first number that you're cubing. What's the first number we're cubing? 2a. So I write it right here. Then I put a plus. And then you write the next number you're cubing. What am I cubing? 3. So I write 3. Alright? That's how the formula works. Now, we come in here and we look at the first number we're cubing. Okay, what's the first number? It was 2a. And now I do 2a squared, okay, because this stands for the first term that you're cubing. So 2a squared is 2a times 2a. That is 4a squared. Now we got to get the minus xy. So you put a minus and then you multiply these two numbers with each other. So 3 times 2a is 6a. So that's minus 6a. Now we're at the last step, okay? Now you just square the second term. So y, what number are we cubing? Oh, we're cubing 3 in the y place, right? So now for y squared, I'm going to put 3 squared. And what's 3 squared? It's 9. So there you go, okay? This is the way that you factor, I'll fix that 9. This is the way you factor using sum of cubes, all right? Be sure that you use the formula exactly this way, okay? Because sum of cubes and difference of cubes look the same, but there are some differences in the formula, so you might get them confused, okay? So just like this, break it down into this form, find out what number do I have to cube to get that? What number do I have to cube to get that? And then it's kind of like plugging in after that. Let's try another sum of cubes. Here we go. 125 x cubed plus 64. You guys ready? So the first thing we're going to do is figure out what am I cubing? What's going on here, okay? So I have to cube 5x to get 125x cubed. And what is it that I have to cube to get 64? Maybe not so easy to see, so we're going to take the cube root of 64 real quick, alright? So what we're looking for is whenever some number repeats itself 3 times, we can get rid of it, right? So we know we got 2 times 2 times 2, that's 8. And we know 8 times 8 is 64, right, don't we? So that means if this is 8, then this is 8, right? But like I just said, we're doing the cube root. So we're looking for any time we have triples of the same number. It's not like square root where you look for pairs of 2 of them. Now we're looking for that many. We're looking for 3 of them. And we found one of them, right? We have 3, 1 triple. So we're going to have 2 come out, all right? And then we're going to have another 2 come out because there's another 3, all right? So there's nothing left inside. Nothing's left in there. We brought everything out. So what's 2 times 2? That's 4. So it turns out 4 cubed is 64. What's 4 times 4? That's 16. And 16 times 4, oh, that's 64, okay? So in case you get stuck and you're like, oh, I don't know how to find the cube root of this, or I don't know what number cubed makes that, use the cube root. It's just like the square root, but you have to find 3 of them, all right? Let me erase this work. We're going to finish the problem now, because we found out the cube root of 64 is 4. So we know that we have to cube 4 to get there, okay? So now how do we figure this out? Okay? Let's look to our formula again, okay? X cubed plus y cubed equals x plus y times x squared minus xy plus y squared, okay? You know this formula well. Write it down on your paper right now, okay? You should. If you write it down every single time you use this, it'll be harder to forget. I would recommend you write it every single problem you're using it, okay? So now, on this one, let's just start fleshing out our answer, okay? We got our x plus y. So x stands for what's the first quantity that you're cubing? The first quantity that I'm raising to the 3rd power is 5x. So I'm going to put 5x. And then you put a plus. Now you put the second quantity that you're raising to the 3rd power. What's that quantity? I'm raising 4 to the 3rd power. So this is plus 4. Now I come in over here and I put x squared. But x squared stands for the first term. So what's the first thing I'm cubing? It's 5x. So this is 5x squared. And 5x squared is 5x times 5x. And that makes 25x squared. Now we got one more term, right? We got the middle term. So we got minus, and then you do x times y. So we're going to do 5x times 4. And 5x times 4 makes 20x. Now we got one last step, y squared. And this means square that term, the second term that you're cubing. What am I cubing? Oh, I'm cubing 4. That's my second term. So what am I going to square? Square 4. And what's 4 squared? 4 times 4 is 16. Alright? So there you have it. This is the way you sum of cubes to factor number 18. Alright? I would like for you guys to try 19. I'll flash the answer on the board for you real quick so you guys can get a good peek at the answer and see if you did it right. I don't want you guys to suffer through the whole problem again because I also want to put difference of cubes in this video and I don't want it to be too long. So you guys actually watch the whole thing. So here we go. Alright, number 19. I would like for you guys to pause the video, alright, and try to do this problem on your own. If you cannot do this problem, okay, you can use the answer that you're going to get right after you unpause it. So go ahead, pause it, do the problem. And you guys are back. So here's the way we're going to do it. All right, I want you guys to remember that we're going to try to factor out something first. Okay, we want to try to pull out a common factor. So what are we multiplying in here? What's happening in all of them? Okay, well here we have 2 times 250. All right. And you could also look at that as, 4 times 125, right? And so this is 2 times 432. But then that means if I split this in half again, that's 4, sorry, let's say 9. This is 4 times, what's half of 432? Oh, that's 216. So 216. So if I factor out a 4, this is what this is going to look like. I pull a 4 out, and what do I have? Instead of having 500, I have to have 125 in front. All right, and now I put a plus, and then instead of having 864, now I have 216 x cubed. And now look, we double check. Well, 4 times 125 makes 500. 4 times 216 makes 864, okay? So we're doing this right so far. Now, we do that cube root step, and we find out, well, what number do I have to cube to get 125? Well, we've been using this number a lot, right? It's 5. And then what number do I have to cube to get 216 x cubed? Well, that's going to be 6x, all right? 6 times 6 is 36, and 36 times 6 is 216. So now look, we found our terms, okay? So before we jump over here, let's write the formula one more time and make sure that we master using it, okay? You have x cubed plus y cubed equals x plus y times x squared minus xy plus y squared, okay? So now we copy this 4 out here, and then we do the problem the way we've been doing it up until now, okay? So let me actually get rid of this. I need some spacing. This 4 is kind of ugly, isn't it? So we got 4. Here we go. So we're going to do x plus y. Well, what is x plus y? We got 5, the first term I'm squaring, plus the second thing I'm cubing, right? What am I cubing? 6x. And now we do the next part, right? This big one. So x squared. Well, what's my x? The first thing I'm multiplying is 5. So 5 squared is 25. Now you got to do x times y. So I multiply these two numbers together, the ones that I'm cubing. Well, I'm cubing these two. So 5 times 6x makes 30x. 5 times 6 is 30, right? And we got 30x. So the last one is going to be you square the second term that you're cubing, and I'm cubing 6x. So I'm going to square 6x. 6x times 6x makes 36x squared. All right. So here you have. All right. I actually did the problem for you, and I said I wouldn't. It's going to make it a little longer, but this problem was kind of tough because you have to factor out a common factor, and then you could get the nice cube roots, and it doesn't take so long, right? If you don't take out this common factor, this problem is going to look really nasty if you try to find the cube root of 500 and 864, okay? So good luck, guys, with the sum of cubes. We're going to practice difference of cubes right now, okay, on the same video, so stay with me. So now 21, okay? 21. Here we go. We have a new formula, okay? Now we have a minus. It's no longer a plus. So when you have a minus in between two cubes, you have to make sure that you use this formula, all right? It starts off with x minus y instead of x plus y. And now, this term that used to be a minus is now a plus. And then at the back, we still have plus minus, plus y squared. So here we go. What's the first step we're going to do? Well, there's no easy cube root of 4. There's an easy cube root of x cubed, but there's no cube root of 4, so really, I'm going to try to get rid of that 4. I don't want to take a cube root of 4 and have that in my equation. Let's see if we can factor out a 4. So then I would have x cubed inside, but what do you multiply times 4 to get 500? We just did in the last problem. Remember, it was 125. So 4 times x cubed, that's 4x cubed. And 4 times 125, that's 500. So now we just have to break down this one. So we check, well, what is it? What number am I cubing? Well, here I'm cubing x. And here, what am I cubing? I must be cubing 5, all right, because that's 125. So now we just use our formula, okay? Copy the 4 out here, and then use the formula. So we get x minus y. So the first thing you cubed minus the second thing you cubed. So x minus 5. Now, we come in here, and we say, oh, x squared. So that's the first thing that you cubed. Look at it. What am I cubing? X. I'm going to square x. So that's just x squared, right? Now it says plus xy. So I put a plus, and then I have to multiply these two numbers that are getting cubed together. And again, those numbers are x and 5. If I multiply them together, I get 5x. And now we're on the last one. So I'm going to add y squared. But y is this 5 right here. And 5 squared is 25. Alright, so there we go. Another one where you have to pull out a common factor to make it easy. And that was on the first one that's not called the sum of cubes. When you have a subtraction happening, the more academic term we use is the difference. Alright, instead of saying minus or something. Alright, this is the difference of cubes. Alright, the difference of cubes. So you got two numbers that are cubed and they're subtracting. That means you can always factor it with this formula. Alright? I'm gonna do one more difference of cubes and then we're gonna cut the video off. Alright guys, so good luck. Please stay with me. So there we go, 22. All right, you guys ready? Let's see, what's the first step? Try to factor out a common factor. So what do we have? We have 6 times 4, and we have 8 times 3. Which one of these is probably going to get us something with a 375 on it? Probably something with the 3, right? So we see, oh, well, wow, look. 3 times 125 is 375, right? Cool. So we know that I could factor out a 3, and that makes my life a little easier because it turns out these other numbers, right? That has a perfect cube, and that has a perfect cube. So that's going to help us out a lot. So here I have 8 minus 125m cubed. And you see if I multiply times 3, I get 24, and if I did that times 3, I would have this. So this factorization is legit. Now, we do our next step where we write, oh, what are we cubing? What number did I have to cube to get 8? What number did I have to cube to get 125m cubed? Well, the number I have to cube to get 8 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. This has to be 5. We've been using this number all day, right? 5 cubed is 125. All right, memorize it even. So now, you got to remember that the difference of cubes equals x minus y times x squared plus xy, and then plus y squared. Okay? So copy the 3, your common factor, and then we got all our parentheses. So the first one is just x minus y. So the first thing I subtracted minus the second thing I subtracted. So what do we got? Oh, I forgot my m. All right. So 2 minus 5m. All right. Don't forget that m in there, okay? Because I forgot it for a second. Be careful, all right? Now we got to do x squared, and x is 2. So what's 2 squared? That's 4. And now we do x times y. So put a plus and multiply these two numbers together. So 2 times 5m is 10m. And the last thing is to square y. So our second number, we square 5m, and that makes 25m squared. Alright, guys? So another problem where you have to factor out a common factor first, and then you can get the cube roots. Okay, so really, don't just stop with 6 times 4 because you'll spend forever trying to find it, okay? Sometimes you need to check multiple numbers to find the real common factor that's going on. Alright, guys? Let me flash one more on there real quick. I don't want to finish it for you because this video is already running on. So check out 23. Let's see if you got it right. Press pause and try it right now, alright? And here we go. Let's see if you got it right, alright? Bam. So we got 3x minus 1 times 9x squared plus 3x plus 1, alright? Good luck, you guys. Have fun working out the rest of your homework with these formulas I got. I hope it helps, guys, alright? Good luck.